So next type of report is called a summary report. So let's see how we can create a summary report. You can build it on top of your existing tabular report, or you can create a new report and convert it into a summary report. So how do we do that? Let's click on this button called new report, and we'll select the same report type called accounts and click continue. What you see here is currently is a tabular report. Now how do we convert this tabular report? It's very simple. So we basically will group this report on certain fields. So let's say I want to group it on account owner, and then I can group it on rows and I can group it on columns as well. Till the time I'm grouping it on rows, it's called a summary report. The moment I'll add a column as well, it will get converted into a matrix report. So let's just look at summary for a moment. So now if I do a refresh, how does it look like? So it has summarized all the data for me based on the account owner. We can add more fields here and it would show all of them. So let's say I want to add account side, you can do that. So you can still add more fields and it would show me the total in the end. So if we have any numeric values, so let's say if we take revenue here, so that might give us some calculation. So we don't have any one which is, let's do all accounts. I'm just changing the filter so that we get maximum data and just converting it to all time. And let's do a refresh. So now you see it is giving us a total as well. There's one more difference, that it would give you a subtotal for each group, and then it would also give you a total here. Let's say I want to group it on another value. Also, let me call it industry. If I do a refresh again, so this time it will give me a subtotal first on the industry and then the subtotal on the automated process. And similarly here, like you can see, this is the parent grouping and this is the child grouping. So for the child, for each parent you would get a subtotal, and then you would get a subtotal for the parent and for the whole work. So you can add up to 3 groupings here. So let's say I want to do it on type here then, and if I do a refresh, so then you can do it on type as well. Let's say you want to change the parent grouping and child grouping, so you can also just do a drag and drop and that would do the change as well. So it totally depends how you want to bring the report up, how you want to design the report, and based on the business requirement you can do the groupings. One thing you would have noticed, that the moment I added the third field here, this group column has gone away, because this is the maximum level of grouping which is allowed. You can either have 2 rows grouped together and 2 columns grouped together, or you can just have 3 rows grouped together. So when we move to column, that will be a matrix report which we'll touch in a moment. But let's look at this summary report. So basically what you do is you summarize the whole data based on certain groups. So that's what we have done here. We have grouped the whole data based on type, account owner and industry, or we can just group it on 1 value. We can group it on 2 values up to 3 values. So that's what I've shown you here. Let's try and save it and see how it looks like. So I'm just giving the name as summary report. You can give any name that you wish to. Just clicking save here. So then we see our report coming here like this. And again, here you have options, hiding the row count. You can hide the detailed rows as well. So this would just give you the subtotals. You can hide the subtotals as well. So that would just give you this. You can also hide the totals as well. So that would take up everything away. You cannot be unable to press this button here. So these are a couple of features which you can enable and disable as well, which any user can enable and disable whilst there on the report. Again, you can add the filters here and all other buttons remain the same. You can also add a chart. This wasn't available in the tabular report, but now we have a chart here, so we can create a chart. Because for a chart you need to group it on something, you need to bring x-axis and the y-axis. That's why it is available here. And here it has picked up by default, it has picked up the parent value, which is the type, but you can change y-axis to account owner as well, and you can change to any of the fields which you have selected as the group. You can do that. Then you can further group it as well. So you can let's say industry and account owner. So you can have these two grouping done together as well. So in the chart, you can only have two groupings. You can have like select one value for x-axis, which would be the record count. You can add a reference line and you can also add values, right? This can be done. You can select where the legend position would be, right or bottom, to make your chart look better. You have a couple of chart formats here. So you can either have a bar chart, you can have a column chart. Rotate that chart by 90 degrees. So just see which one is looking more readable and appropriate. Use that. You can also have a stacked bar. So basically things would stack up on each other. You can similarly rotate it and make it column. Then you can have a line chart, which would be something like this. You can also have a donut. But when you move to donut, you can only have one field, you cannot group it. Grouping is only allowed in these charts, not in donut. So here, like I'm selecting account owner type. Then you can also design a funnel. So it's something like this. Again, funnel, you would have just one value, and you can also have a scattered plot, which would look something like this. So it totally depends how you want to pick up. So that can be done as well. You have another option which is called color by, and you can select color by industry or type. You can just see whichever is looking right from your perspective. Generally, you would end up using bar chart or a column chart, and in certain cases, donut chart. So it is very useful. And let's say you want to remove the chart. You don't want the chart anymore, so you can click remove chart and it will be removed from your report. So that's what a summary report is.
If you have any questions, you can join the QA session, which happens every Friday. And please drop in your comments, feedback, and any questions in the comment section, and I'll get back to you.